Good evening and welcome to South Today. One man has died and 2 are missing after a boat sank off the coast of Shoreham this morning. The UK Coast Guard has spent the day coordinating a major search operation. With the latest, here's Sarah Smith.
One of 2 Coast Guard helicopters scouring the water for any sign of the missing men. Fishermen had found a survivor just before 6 a.m, 2 miles out to sea, suffering from hypothermia with no life jacket or protective clothing.
What we can say for certain is that whatever did happen happened incredibly quickly. There was no distress call, there was no emergency call, no indication to friends or family that there was a problem. The suggestion from the one survivor that we have located is that within about 20 seconds he was in the water, so very, very quick indeed.
10 vessels from the nearby wind farm joined helicopters and in- and offshore lifeboats. Fishing boats and pleasure crafts also keeping a lookout. The Coast Watch volunteers were searching the water from their Shoreham lookout. 2 hours after the survivor was found, the Coast Guard helicopter had pulled the body of a man from the water. But by the afternoon, no further bodies or survivors had been found and the search was called off. The information so far suggests that a small boat, not particularly well equipped for sea fishing, left this marina in Shoreham at some point during the night. The space that it left from is still empty. The 4 men on board were Romanians living in Britain, 2 in London, 2 in Brighton, enjoying a fishing trip. From his hospital bed, the survivor told police what he remembered.
He has described that their boat was struck by another boat that was oncoming. He describes that he jumped from the boat to swim for safety and has therefore lost contact with the other 3 people on the boat.
The Marine Accident Investigation Branch is now leading the operation to find out exactly what happened.
Next tonight, people living in a West Berkshire village say police were too slow to respond to an illegal rave last night. It attracted up to 150 people. Officers finally broke up the party near Pangbourne at 7 o'clock this morning. Tom Hepworth reports.
5 a.m. in rural West Berkshire. The second time in 3 weeks, residents have been kept awake by illegal all-night raves. This is what was left by 10. Police said it wasn't safe to disperse the rave overnight.
This whole area remains littered with broken glass and the detritus of drug use. Just in a few square yards alone, I've found literally hundreds of canisters of nitrous oxide and balloons also used for taking laughing gas, and many dozens of empty sachets like this. All this in an area used by families with young children.
That's crazy. Yeah, and with the kids, the man thing always come up here to, to have a walk. I don't think that's really on.
You can't let the kids just run wild, and you've got to make sure that the area is safe before they go off. It shouldn't really be like that.
They can do what they want and police will do nothing about it. I mean, if they can say that it's unsafe to disperse it, they're the police.
Thames Valley Police says it's reviewing the incident in order to reduce the impact on local people in future. A 17-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of having an offensive weapon and possessing cannabis. He's been released pending further inquiries. Tom Hepworth, BBC South Today, Sulham.
A newlywed bride from Dorset launched an appeal for the return of her engagement ring after it was stolen on her wedding day. Lucy Warner married James Gale in Simonsbury on Wednesday. Her maid of honour's car was broken into outside the church. On social media, she's described herself as heartbroken. Plans have been announced to triple the size of Oxford Museum. It's part of a £2.8 million investment there. To help pay for the works, visitors are being urged to adopt the exhibits. They include a 400-year-old tennis ball, a mascot from a Morris 8 car, and even memorabilia from Alice in Wonderland.
As soon as I heard of this brilliant idea that you could adopt an object, I immediately went for the Saxon's child shoe. I can just see 700 years ago the little child running along the high street with these new pair of goatskin shoes on.
A record number of boats have set off in this year's Fastnet race. 4,000 sailors aboard more than 400 yachts from 29 nations left Cowes this morning to cover the 605 miles out to the Fastnet Rock and back to Plymouth. Now let's get the weather with B. Tucker.
Hello, good evening. Well, we have seen some sunshine today. Over the last few hours, though, we've seen more cloud push in from the west. and with it we'll see cloudy skies through tonight. Now, tomorrow we've got this weather front out towards the west. It really is going to be western parts seeing the bulk of the rain tomorrow. For most of us, though, it will be grey, it will be cloudy, and it will certainly feel cooler than today. And we've got a fair amount of cloud out there at the moment, a largely dry evening with that extra bit of cloud cover through tonight. Most places not falling as low temperature-wise. We should stay in double figures down at 12 or 13 degrees. Perhaps some early glimmers of sunshine further east tomorrow. For most of us, a lot of cloud pushing in, and there will be some showery outbreaks of rain. Now, for many of us, that rain staying out towards the west. We could see 1 or 2 heavy bursts at times. Some sunshine along the south coast, but for most of us, fairly grey and certainly feeling cooler than today. Have a good evening.
Well, that's it from us for now. Have a very good evening. Goodbye.